Jon Jones is still the flippin' GOAT. Goodness freaking gracious. That was an amazing spinning back kick. Amazing fun. Good morning, folks, and happy Saturday. You know, now that I've slept on it, I still kind of feel like whoever allowed Mike Tyson to get in the ring should be arrested. Like, I don't know. I just felt dirty the whole entire time I was watching that fight. The whole time. But, folks, we gotta go teach our final kickboxing class. And honestly, it was a pretty good closing of a chapter. We got our homie a dub. Me and my guy were able to put our differences aside and get the bro a dub. Like, that's what's up. That was a good closing of a chapter. A great closing of a chapter. So, let's get over here, teach our Saturday morning kickboxing class, and tell all of our people, till next time. And we are out of the door, headed to get our people into the shape of their flippin' dreams. Hey folks, you know what's funny? It is so funny. A group of fighters who talk the most shit in the state are butthurt because I said their team sucks and please don't miss weight. We are all known for missing weight, so yeah, maybe don't be so sensitive and do your freaking job, you unprofessional little cusses. But let's go do our job and get these folks into the shape of their freaking dreams. And we freaking made it. Let's go get these people into the shape of their freaking dreams. And we just finished up our final cardio kickboxing class, folks. And there was some great memories here. Great memories. I hope that they I can see all these people again. I hope that in due time I can come back and everyone has grown so much. I've grown so much, and we can all smile and be like, we're proud of each other. Because I'm proud of them. And I know they're proud of me. But I'm sure gonna miss this place. I am. But I kind of got comfortable. Teaching my kickboxing classes, teaching my kids, and just training when I can train. But it's time to go really gamble on ourselves, folks. So let's go make this drive. Let's go get better today than we were yesterday. And we made it, folks. Let's go get better today than we were flipping yesterday. Striking complete. And we were definitely better today than we were yesterday. You know, I must have been so excited to go get better today than we were yesterday that I left my freaking phone in the car. We left our phone in the car. I was like literally stressing like the last hour of practice when I realized that I could not find that joker anywhere. Totally thought that I had left it on top of the car or something. But we did not. We did not. But let's go get some jits in. Alrighty, folks, better today than we were yesterday, indeed. And we got to chit-chatting at practice today, and we were trying to determine what's more important, going live or drilling, or are they interchangeably important? Because, I mean, you look at, like, the best combat athletes in the world, what are they doing? They're drilling. What are the, I guess, I wouldn't say more mediocre guys, but the more mediocre guys are doing? they're banging it out every day. They're just going in there and seeing how hard they can possibly go, how hard they can possibly push themselves. And you know, yes, there is a place for that. But there's also a place for like learning technique, folks, like drilling the technique, solidifying the technique, knowing that I've been in this position a million times. Granted, my partner is not giving me 1,000% like resistance, but I've been in this position a million times, and I know exactly where to put my hand. I know exactly which way to move my hips. I know exactly how hard I need to exert myself. I mean, all those things are very, very, very important. I mean, yes, you do get a grit that you can never get anywhere else from sparring and live rolls, but I definitely think that, like, you should put more emphasis on the drilling and less emphasis on the going live and sparring. And that's not always been my mindset. My mindset used to be grind. But that cannot possibly be the answer, because if it were, then why are the top guys in the world drilling and not sparring? Or drilling and not rolling? Or drilling or hitting pads and not sparring? Well, that's exactly it. They are sparring, but it's not every day. It's not. Their whole training camp isn't just a sparring session. It is building skills and, I guess, refining those skills. You know what I mean? Like, look at the two guys who are fighting tonight, Jon Jones and Stipe. They are not sparring and living. No, they are drilling and studying. So, if you got a coach who is telling you need to spar, unless, like, I'm not saying don't trust your coaching, but I'm just saying, just make sure they're not, like, leading you down the wrong path and teaching you the wrong things, if you know what I mean. But folks, I am excited for these fights tonight. So we're gonna boogie on home and hope like hell that we can get our fitness video today made and possibly play some BO6, but I don't think we will have time. I don't think we're gonna have time. I think we're only gonna have time to grub down and get some Jesus in before the fights start. But I have no idea. Let's see where the day takes us. Alrighty, folks, we have finally made it home. Let's get inside and find some grub so that we don't end up grubbing down during the Jon Jones and Stipe fight, and that we can be somewhat coherent and be able to use our brain during our Jesus time. Well, folks, we had a perfect amount of time to grub down and tell JB we love her and that we hope she has an amazing night at clinicals. But now we have got to go get our Jesus and learn to be the best version of us we can possibly be. Well, we made it to church in perfect timing to get our coffee, but I am a yapper, so let's get in here and get to some freaking Jesus time, folks. Well, folks, church went great. We kind of spoke on that topic of what is good and what is evil. Is it this side or is it this side? Is that thing bad or is this thing bad? You know what I mean? And, you know, the gist that I got out of it is, at the end of the day, you'll drive yourself absolutely batty, absolutely crazy, trying to determine whether that is good, or that is good, or that is bad, or that is bad, or trying to right that person's wrong, or right that person's wrong, or help this person twist themselves around and beat it through their heads that that is wrong to do, or trying to and at the end of the day, you know what the only evil really is ignoring the wisdom of God, not listening to the wisdom of God. Because at the end of the day, that was what all brought evil on earth in the first place. Like, I mean, you gotta think about it. You gotta think about it. We were told not to eat that fruit. And what did we do? We bit off on that fruit. We did it. We did it. I mean, I didn't do it. You didn't do it. But, you know, humans. And, ever since then, I mean, think about it. Think about it. What did Cain do? He was a murderer. And who birthed him? Okay. So, at the end of the day, aren't we all got a little bit of evils in us? And a bunch of us have a whole lot of goods in us? And at the end of the day, as long as you are listening to the wisdom of God, I don't know what the wisdom is of God that he may be telling you, but you know when you get that little voice in your head, because it can come from anywhere. I mean, heck, in the Bible it came from a burning bush, so you never know where it may come from. You never know. It could just be a person yapping to you on a video. But as long as you're listening to that little voice in your head telling you what is right and what is wrong, because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't even know what is right and what is wrong. They're like simultaneously trying to live in like two kingdoms, I guess we could put it that way. Like two worlds. They don't know what's right and what's wrong. You know what I mean? Like, for example, let's use diets, for example. Everyone has their own favorite diet they want to use. Everyone. And at the end of the day, most of them are going to work as long as you do them absolutely perfectly. So, but calories in, calories out is the only way to actually lose weight and keep weight off forever. But you get what I'm saying right there. You get what I'm saying. Everyone has their own views, their own perspectives on things. And trying to bash it out of someone's head that is wrong, or getting upset and worked up over those things, is never gonna solve anything. Listen to the wisdom that God is telling you what is right and what is wrong. Because I do believe that once you accept Jesus Christ, you kind of just start changing as a human. And it's just kind of weird. Like, you'll try to go do the things that you used to enjoy to do when you were not a believer, and it's just not as fun as it used to be. You know? So I guess if you're trying to live in two worlds, it's never gonna actually work. It's never gonna work. So, the final gist of what I'm just trying to say is, stop living in two kingdoms and just listen to the wisdom of God. I know I yapped in circles about that, but that is like very, very, very profound. It's very profound, because we didn't listen to it. And now, look at us. Now we die, you know? Adam and Eve were supposed to be everlasting freaking eternal beings. And they ate a freaking fruit that some person convinced them to eat. Or spiritual being, I guess you could say, not person. Serpent, you know? So, do not be deceived, folks. Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. We are easily deceived. I mean, Adam and Eve were literally made in God's image, and they were still deceived. So, yeah, that's crazy. And then everyone else after that, once they bit off of that apple, or whatever we want to say it is, the fruit was made in Adam's image. A screw up, you know what I mean? So I guess humans are inherently screw ups. And we just have to be guided down the right path, in the right kingdom, guided by the right Father, to be the best person that we could possibly be. But folks, we just pulled into the house, so let's run inside and get on some BO6 before we gotta meet our homie at the old Hooters and watch the freaking Jon Jones and Stipe fight, guys. I'm freaking excited. Alrighty, folks, BO6 went great. And honestly, I kind of am digging the new freaking Resurgence map. I was gonna say Warzone, but it's the Resurgence map. They still got Urkistan. And I'm kind of digging it, I can't lie. It was a great COD session, though. Great COD session. Other than the fact of, it booted me off twice. That was really freaking irritating. But to the ones who tuned in, thank you. I freaking love you guys. But let's head on to watch this freaking Jon Jones and Stipe fight, folks. Alrighty, folks, we just made it to the B-dubs. Haven't seen my homie in a fat minute, so I'm pretty freaking excited to sit down and watch some fights with my guy. And folks, Jon Jones is still the flippin' GOAT. Goodness freaking gracious. That was an amazing spinning back kick. An amazing fight. And freaking Charles Oliveira, bro. What a freaking G. What a G. Like, he is those two are the definitions of, like, almost virtually perfect fighters. Almost. Of course, everyone has their flaws, but they are definitely in the conversation of GOATs. Both of them. But, folks, let me tell you, like I said, I hadn't seen my homie in a while. He had, went off to the military, and, well, now he's back home, and let me tell you, some of the stories he was telling me, and the things that happened there are absolutely insane. Like, wow. Our taxpayer dollars go to some silly things. And, it is not good for some people's mental health. Also, like, at the same time, you are going off to war, so mental health's mental health. But, like, the things he told me, goodness gracious, I was like, oh my gosh. What? Yeah, I mean, I get it, they miss their family, but goodness gracious, that's a little overboard. And some of the people who go in there were just like, phew, these are our soldiers? But again, of course, I'm not dogging anyone who goes into the military. I respect all of our veterans, but goodness gracious, some of the stories he told me were like, man, that is some wasteful tax dollars. But thank you to all our veterans, like, genuinely. I'm not saying that at all. His stories were definitely insane. But folks, these fights all went to freaking decision. All of them. They were great fights, but they all went to decision. So it has been a late night. So let's boogie on home and try to get into bed before 3 a.m. And we are home, folks. Let's get inside and freaking edit up and sum up our day. Well, folks, we have gotten our day edited up until this point. And, you know, it was a pretty wonderful day. And I think we learned a lot. And that's, like, kind of the whole point of life every day. I just want to learn. Not just punches and kicks, but about life. And, you know, yeah, change is scary. Change makes you nervous. Change makes you think, is it going to be greener on the other side? But also, like, it's the only thing that you can do for growth. I mean, if you've been somewhere for 10 years and you don't feel growth, well, you got to go. And if you feel growth in the other place, well, you got to go. You know what I mean? That's simple as can be. And it's really hard sometimes. Like, I was talking to my buddy today. He was like, you know, sometimes it's hard to do things for yourself. It is. Because as a Christian, you're taught to do everything for other people. But sometimes, to better other people, you're going to have to do something for yourself. You get what I mean? And he had a big point there. He really did. And not to mention, what kind of justice am I doing if I'm living in two kingdoms? Like, You're an athlete or you're a coach. You can't live in two kingdoms. You can't be selfish and be selfless. You know what I mean? Athletes are inherently selfish, and coaches are supposed to be inherently selfless. So you really can't live in two worlds. You can't live in two kingdoms, you know? And that's really true. Like, I'm never going to be great at one or great at the other if I don't put all my efforts into one. You know what I mean? So I guess that's a big thing that I needed to learn. And it's kind of crazy how, like, that's something that we have been struggling with for a really long time, living in two kingdoms. And that's not just like just in the athletics, but in life too. Like, on the way home today, I was like, you know, it's so funny. These same roads that I'm driving down right now, at the same time I'm driving down them, at one time I would have been driving down them for a whole lot different reasons. And we were definitely trying to live in two kingdoms at that point. And it's just crazy, like the lesson in church lined up with the lesson in the lesson of the week. And it's wild how things happen like that. It really is. It's almost like, oh, it's just a great coincidence. My butt. It can't keep just being coincidences, folks. It can't. There has to be divine intervention in life. I mean, I know what I believe. I can't tell anyone what to believe. It's not my place. You got to find that out yourself. I can just guide you with my leadership and the things that I've learned in life and the things that I've seen through my eyes, if you know what I mean. So, folks, all I got to say is if you're living in two kingdoms, whatever the two kingdoms may be, it doesn't have to be spiritual and worldly. It could be just, hey, I want to do this, but I'm doing this at the same time. Well, you're never going to be great at that or that. You're going to be mediocre at both. You know what I mean? So, yeah, folks. Yeah. Get out of the other kingdom. And be ready to grow, I guess you could say. Because the only way to grow is what? Change. Freaking change, folks. But with that being said, folks, I'm going to call it a freaking night. Those are some great fights tonight. Absolutely terrific fights. Like, I can't even explain it. Terrific fights. Even if they went decision, every one of the fights were very, 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 very entertaining. So, I guess that makes up for Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, even though I like a good circus act every now and then. I really, really do. Good night, folks, and BillyGoat flippin' loves you.